my new messaging, Sean, is don't give them the recordings. They're not going to watch them anyway. So don't even put them in. Show up, get nurtured.
Right, or nothing.
Or nothing. And if I decide to bless you with recordings later, then you're going to be blessed. You know, we've tailored the days to accommodate you so you can get out and check your business and things like that. But be here, make commitments, trying to help people be more intentional about what we do, I think is where as leaders, that's what our message should be out to people. Like, don't sign up unless you're really intentional that you're going to come.
All right. Well, welcome back to the Rock Your Gift podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, a powerful event producer. Her name is Linda Kane. Linda, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Sean. Always good to be here.
It's so great to have you on this show.
I'm so excited.
So I want to just have a little bit of an introduction so people can get to know you. You've been helping people with events for a long time. Maybe tell us a little bit about the kind of events that you do and kind of how you got into this.
Oh, great. So when I was in high school, of course, there were many things that I wanted to get. And my parents were like, well, you need to earn, some extra money to do that. So I first started out by doing wedding cakes and working with a gal that was a bakery in Pasadena. I grew up in Arcadia, California, for your viewers that don't know where that is. And anyway, so I started working with wedding cakes and learned everything that there was about wedding cakes and baking and all of that. And then the catering company that they were working with hired me to help this law firm do a golf tournament the summer that I was graduating high school. And so I didn't know anything about golfing other than my dad did it on Saturday mornings, and my mom was very glad when he picked up the clubs and left. So it gave her free time. So anyway, I read some books. I went down to the pro shop. I talked to them. So by the time the tournament came along, I kind of had figured out, what was going to be the magic to make this really work for the clients and for their clients. So anyway, that was how I'd always kind of been involved in events in school and things like that. But that was really like the catalyst for me because I loved the fact that we put 300 golfers together on 4 different courses, brought them all back to the Beverly Hills Hotel that evening for dinner and did awards ceremony and all this. And it was so much fun. And I just was hooked. I want more of this. This is what I want to do. This is great. So then I was headed to San Diego for college, and I got this phone call about 6 weeks into the summer, and the law firm said, hey, we're starting a marketing and events department. Would you like to come aboard as an intern? And so forget college. I went to the law firm, and I spent about 12 years there. And through that time, I did a variety of things for them. I ran the International Bankers Association, which is the foreign banks Association of the United States. So I got to work with the Federal Reserve and the FDIC and the Bank Secrecy Act. And I got to work on client high-end retreats and parties and things like that for the partners. I got to work on the Summer Associate Program. And then it just led. There was I call them bar mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs, just and everything in between. And so one day then I was about 12 years into this. We were running about 6 different trade associations that we had helped grow and start up with the firm. We were running the Santa Monica Bar Association. We were running a whole bunch of different things. And I went to a Bob Proctor event and met this gentleman in the back of the room named Adam Urbanski. And I think you know Adam. Mm-hmm. And he asked me what I did. And he's like, well, why aren't you doing this as an entrepreneur? Why don't you have your own business? Why are you working for them? And so that was in 2003. And I went back and gave a 2-week notice after that event. And then the rest is history. I formed the Blue Diamond Event Company and hired Lisa, who's still working with me right out of high school. And the two of us, we retained some of the projects from the firm, were our first clients, and Adam and Nancy Marmolejo, Lisa Cherney, and Rich German, and then it just grew from there. And in the last 23 years now, I've had such a pleasure of working with some of the top thought leaders in this space. And like like we do things and then we come back around and we do some more and then we come back around. So I just feel really blessed that I've been able to have this repeat business, but also just grow. And we have real estate, insurance, some foundations that we're working for, as well as our coaches, authors, and speakers.
I love it.
So
it's great because I've worked with you multiple times. I've experienced you in your genius zone, and you are really, meant to do this.
Yeah.
And it's no question. And so
I love it.
I wonder for you, like, what is the parts of it? Because part of the Rock Your Gift podcast is all about finding that gift, identifying it, and clarifying how that gift plays a role in what you're doing, right? Because I really want to inspire people to know that what you love and what lights you up and what we could call your calling or your purpose, it has a place in your business as an entrepreneur. And to me, that's synonymous with your art, right? Your calling, your gift, it's your art, right? So everybody's got that thing that lights them up. So what is it that really lights you up about this? And where do you see yourself really coming alive in your work?
Oh, great question. So the journey that I've been on, when I was working in the firm and just in the early part of Blue Diamond, I was more like a director of things. And as our business moved into the coaching, I found myself not stepping back, but kind of pausing a little bit. The analogy that I use is I was holding the clipboard in the back of the room as the, go here, go there, do this, kind of directing things, but not out front, where when I was working on the board of directors and things like that, I was more out front. And I don't know if that's just where I was as my own personal journey as a leader and everything, or if it was just the nature of the coaching industry, because the host is the one that's, the premier person, and then everybody else is in support. And so in the last few years, actually the last 2 or 3 years, I've really realized that who do I really want to be as a leader, and how do I really want to show up? And I still am showing up for our clients in that support role and planning and all of that. But I realized that my true zone of genius and where I really love and shine is being in that creative space from the very beginning of what's possible and pulling out of the host. Like what I see, like when we were doing your event recently, I'm still so thrilled and excited that there's a piece of that event that you can pull out the rock star speaker and really pull that out and make that become very magical for you and take people down a path that they normally wouldn't go. And other people that are doing speaking and topics around speaking aren't doing that particular path that you can take people down. And just being able to see that vision for people and making it come alive, that's what I really love. And I love the teaching and the training part of events, and really just being that calm and holding the ground and holding the energy during the event, because there's so much that happens and is going on, and just being able to see all the parts and holding them together.
Yeah, it's great to have you as a support in those times, and for anybody who wants to create your own events, whether that's a one-day event, multi-day events, could be a little workshop that you do. There's nothing like having a team behind you that is actually professional and can allow you to do the things that you love. And, it's going to be a more profitable venture because you're supported in this way than if you try to play all the roles. So, part of the things I want you to get from this episode is to really lean into the vision of you doing events and being able to think about what those events would look like and what it looks like on the back end. And so I want to kind of get into that for you. Like when somebody is, let's say they're wanting to do an event, they're unsure, they're worried about how much it's going to cost, or, what are all the different details. What are some of the things that you would say are helpful ways for them to think about their event, their dream to do events, or their next event, so that they can get out of some of that and really focus on what matters?
Well, what really matters is the audience and where you're going to take them. The costs and all of that can come together. You can put a budget together. You can dream about what you want your event to look like. We can talk about that. And all of that's part of the planning. But really and truly, I think what it boils down to for me is Who are you bringing in? Who's the audience that you're wanting to attract? I would encourage people to really know who they want to work with, and where you find those people and how you can bring those people in. And whether it's 20 people in a room that you're there serving and selling into a high program, or whether it's 1,000 people, just really knowing who those people are. And clients that don't have that nailed down is where we struggle with sales.
Right.
Every single time. And as I look back, especially in the past 3 years, the clients that have really killed it are the ones who have really, that's nailed down. They know they're attracting this person, and it doesn't matter if they've got 20 people in the room or 100 people in the room, they are going to make their sales goals. They just do. I went back and I've been doing this process for myself in this leadership thing that I'm doing. And one of the questions was like, identify the success. How do you identify success for your clients?
Yeah.
And where is that success coming from? And so there's the success that you have in that it was a great event, your content was good, and you realize that you're ready to do this again, but now with the right people, if you didn't have the right people. So that's a success. But the bigger success is that you really know who you're attracting, and we don't get sideways from, shiny objects, like, oh, this person's going to mail or this person's going to do this. And so I've really been paying attention to that and really dissecting the events that we've done in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And two themes have resonated out of that. And the one is knowing your audience and bringing them in. And the second is having your offer so solid that it doesn't matter if you have 20 or 100 in the room, you will make the sales that you came to do.
I think that's massive. I always like to bring in a vulnerable kind of component to this show and share a little bit about, something that maybe didn't go so great and, how you rebounded. Yeah. One of the things for me is, I think the most important thing is the offer, in my opinion, like being really clear on that going into an event. I think a big mistake that people make who aren't coming from this mindset of like, I want to, enroll people, and they're thinking mostly about just service, which is great. I love it. But if you don't think at all about the sales piece, then, you do this, think of it like a party. You threw a great party and people liked it, but it didn't do any big changes for your business. So I think it's important to think about the offer, but I'll share that many times the events that I've done, I've been uncertain about that offer. I think that I've tried to create an offer in which I made a lot of money, but I wasn't always thinking about, is it really what I want to sell? Is it really what I'm lit up by? And I think that the biggest thing that is emerging for me is really that question of, okay, how do I get really honest with myself and start to get even more authentic about what do I really want to lead people to? What kind of offer is going to be something that I am literally like, I can't wait to show up for, so that like we put the experience of working with your clients and making that impact over, and how it feels for you over how much money you make. And I think going back to what you were saying a few minutes ago, I think if it's aligned in that way, you can come from a place from stage when you're making that offer where no matter how many people are in the room, like, I am excited about this thing, and like, you can just come along or not. Like, I would love to do this even if nobody shows up, that kind of thing. So I wonder what comes up for you around like what you would tell somebody in terms of like getting aligned and being authentic with themselves and being able to create an event that is coming from that right place. Any challenges that you've experienced or you've seen?
Oh gosh, that's loaded. Absolutely. And that's one of the processes that I've been going through. I've had a few clients who their events are so great. They're fun. They're exciting. Everybody's had a great time, and the offers have fallen flat. So as a producer, it's like, why is that? Money is still made. Don't get me wrong. There's after event sales and things come together, but you're looking for that magic, that just like wow factor. And so why is that? And it's because we don't stop to think far enough down the road. What do I really want to create that's going to take me 3 years and 5 years? We tend to think in short terms. I need $100,000 to do this next phase. So we look for that answer. And in the process, we think that we're building a business or that we're building a model. But then when you really get into it, you realize, that's not what I want to do. I don't really want to, I'm asking people to join me for a year-long coaching program, but I really don't want to coach them for a year long. Maybe I just really want to coach them for 3 months or 6 months. So I don't know exactly how to tell people that, hey, you need to think more about your offer and you need to think in this long term. So I've been really fleshing that out. So what I would say now is, great, you want to do an event. What's your offer? Where are you taking people? What does it look like? What is your financial goals for 3 years and 5 years from now? And is what you're creating now going to lead into that and sustain you through that? And if the answer is no, this is a short-term thing to bring in cash, then great. Let's create a short-term event. Let's create a cash-driven short-term event that has a 3-month or a 6-month outcome on the other end rather than a year long. And then make that so like, for example, if you have a 90-day jumpstart or a 6-month course that you can sell at $5,000, $7,500, and you have, 40, 50 people in the room, the chances are you're going to still make a really great killing and probably have 60, 70% of that room buy.
Right.
And then out of that, then you can have look for 10, 12 people that you want at a higher level that comes out of that group that is more cultivated and curated for your longer term offer than trying to sell right in from your audience to a big high ticket.
Right.
And then you're going to get the people that you want in your high ticket offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a mistake that I've made. And I think that it's something where if I really listened to myself on those moments, I would have said, you know what, I probably should offer a shorter term thing because that's what I wanted. It probably would have been more easy of a yes for them because less of a commitment. And then also you're not marrying people so quickly so that you're like, okay, I just locked in a 12 months with something. I literally don't know them because I've been on stage this entire event and now like I'm supposed to assume that they're a fit because they like my content, but I actually had no experience. So those are really good lessons. What do you think is changing? Like you've been in the game a while. I mean, we have done events now. I mean, I think the first event was in 2017. So 8 whatever years that is. And I know you've been doing this for decades and decades, specifically like in the coaching, entrepreneur space. What do you think of some of the things that are changing from like those years before COVID up till now and anything like that?
The biggest change that 2 things that I'm really seeing is there are so many options for people that because of COVID, we got comfortable being home and we got comfortable being in Zoom. And more people are able to get their information out to a wider audience than before, which is really amazing. And I love that. But it also means for those of us that like the in-person space that less people are coming out. There's still that comfortability that people have settled into. Maybe they lost their babysitters through COVID or, different people moved away or they lost some of their support network that they might have had before COVID. So they've kind of people have kind of settled into this space. But what's happening is they're not showing up either in the virtual space or the personal, the live event. So that's the biggest thing I see is like people are signing up and not showing up.
Yeah.
So differentiating yourself from others out there doing something similar to you is the biggest factor. And so cultivating an audience or cultivating people around you that want to be in community with you is the biggest thing that I see happening is people are like, I need 100 people to be in my little pool that will work with me and float in, float out, and building from there, and building your community. And for those of us, because there's many that we don't want to have a big community, we don't want to manage a community, we just want to teach and train and bring people in and then have, 12 or 20 that we work with for the year. And then we've bless them and they've got what they need. And then we bring in another 12 or 20. So you really have to get clear on that path. I call it event-driven business. So what is your event-driven business model? How do you want to do events along with all the other things that you want to do, what is the ultimate business that you're building? So again, back to the offer. Look at what you want to build, how you want to build it, how you want to play, and then bring the people into that so that you're not wasting time and you're not like having all this funnel and energy and everything going out to get 20 people in a room on Zoom. And so really looking at how we want to play, even myself, how do I want to play with my clients? How do I really want to show up? What do I really want to teach them and have them do? And the biggest thing that I can do for my clients is let's look at that 3 and 5 year goal, because everything we do right now in the next 3 months, 6 months is either going to take you toward that or be a short-term fix. And if it's a short-term fix, then let's make it the best 6, 7 months, that we can. And then that'll help shift you into what it is that you're looking to continue to do. And I think where I was trying to go with this is that people showing up and they have so many options. And so I'm like, my new messaging, Sean, is don't give them the recordings.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to watch them anyway. So don't even put them in. It's like, I'm being on Zoom, show up, get nurtured.
Or nothing. Yeah.
And if I decide to bless you with recordings later, then you're going to be blessed.
Right.
And same up with live. I'm doing this and, we've tailored the days to accommodate you so you can get out and check your business and things like that. But be here, make commitments, trying to help people be more intentional about what we do, I think is where as leaders, that's what our message should be out to people. Like, don't sign up unless you're really intentional that you're going to come. Don't just come to come.
Right.
And for those of us building our businesses and those of us that are attending events, be intentional in that. Because I can't tell you, in the last 2 years, I was looking at attendees lists and I was shocked at how many people paid $197 and didn't show up. Didn't even come.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I don't have thousands of dollars to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So why are people doing that? And because they think they want the information or they're hungry for the connection, but they're really not committed and they haven't set the intention. So as a event host, when you're going to be doing your events, make sure you're setting that intention for the audience that you're trying to draw up front. Hey, I'm going to give to you. I'm going to dive into, you are going to learn. You are going to grow. You are going to get tools that will support you. And I'm coming with this intention. I need you to have the same intention back. And don't sign up unless you're going to come. And that's risky.
Yeah.
Because, we don't want to end up with small rooms per se.
Right.
But really and truly, maybe that's what we need, are those people that really intend and really want to be with us. Mm-hmm. And then we serve them. And through that, most of us only need maybe 20 people in the year to work at our high level, our high ticket, to meet the goals that we want to meet with everything else that we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's big. I think it's all about, the main thing that I feel like it's at the source of this is trusting yourself and starting to think outside of the box of like the structures that you might think of, like we have to fit in these boxes of like, okay, we do these 1 day, these 2 days, these retreats, and this is how you do it. And asking the question of, what would I really love to be a part of? And, what kind of experience would I want to be in? And let me build this event around that, because I think that's what's missing. At least that's what I think I've done wrong.
100%.
Is like, I want to be in an experience that I am lit up by. And regardless of how it goes, it's enjoyable. I think the whole idea of events was always built around that, right? It's like a party. We all, I don't say all because I don't know, everybody, but most people that I know enjoy a good party, right? And like, good people and a good atmosphere and good music, good food, and great conversations. And, maybe there's a speaker, maybe there's somebody that gets on the mic. And, these moments are like, oh, I want more of this, And so why not create your events around what it is that you want more of instead of some structure that is supposed to be the way that somebody taught you how to do it. And so I really think it's important to get creative and and that's advice to myself, as well as, lessons that I have learned from my own experience for those listening, that I think is where I'm headed and where I encourage you to go is to definitely have an offer and to make sure that you're not doing a party, but to also make it like as fun as a party could be for you, and to just choose the amount of days based on where you're energetically feeling and not based on any kind of structure that somebody has predetermined is the way you have to do it. I think all of that is breaking down. So I want to know, what are I think we could open this up for a second and talk about our next event, right? We have an event in October, and I would just love to brainstorm a little bit with you here and use this time for those listening to kind of get an inside view of kind of what this looks like, right? So we've committed to doing an event in October, and we're going to do a hybrid because we have people that are going to be coming to speak that are going to be virtual, and we're going to do it here locally. I would just love to know, what are some ideas that you have? What do you think? Because I think personally it would be better to kind of make it more intimate this time, and maybe even have the be a higher ticket for people in-house, and possibly even do enrollment conversations for people to join, so that, like you were saying, we could have more of buy-in and make it more special. We could do more of the experiential stuff and less of the talking at people stuff.
I'm really kind of glad you asked that question.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about this. I've been so excited since we finished in July, and what can be created and what we can look at and doing. And I'm going back to the thought of, day one being the training, and day two being the transformation that needs to take place, and then day three being the showcase. And so, depending if we're staying with the, your rock star speaker platform. But what I think would be really great is pre-event work. So when people sign up, rather than trying to cram it all into that first day of the event, because there's so much content,
right?
And there are certain things that need to be done in order for people have 6 steps that they need to have completed in order to go on to the next phase. And they need to do 3 steps there in order to move on to actually work with you, build a business, and, build their career, right? And so if we did an event that had maybe 3 or 5 days ahead, like 5 weeks out, let's say, sign up now because we're starting 5 weeks out from the actual event, and you've got work to do. And we meet once a week and for an hour, and they have a homework assignment. They turn it in, we can critique with them, hold some accountability. And by the time they get to the event, they will be ready for all of that one-day training that you have that sets them up to be the rock star speaker.
I like that.
And then the next day we go deep in the transformation, and are you showing up, and what needs to change? How do you want to be a leader on your stage? Where do you need to dive into your soul and bring out that person that's hiding, and and do those stage challenges, make them get up and do a 1 minute improv or whatever, really get them out. If they're going to be speakers, let's make them speakers. Get over the shyness, get over the things that they need to, that's holding them back. Because even great speakers, you can tell, are sometimes holding back something, and they're not letting it all out because they've been trained this way. But there's really this soul thing hiding in them, and bring that out, and then showcase them. Bring in media and event planners and people that are looking for speakers, and showcase them. Right. And then that can be the party, and that can be fun, and
I love
have prizes and sponsorships. And I get really excited when I think about that. But I think the key is there's work to be done. And I think that this is what that 3-day model we get stuck in, because that first day is people are so overloaded. And like you just said, you've spent 3 days with me. How do I know I want to continue working with you? How do you know you really want to continue working with me? We've had this amazing date, but do we really want to keep going?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the second date's going to look like, or
Yeah.
the third date. And then you've signed a contract, you give him money, and then you're like, oh, shoot, I don't really like this person, or I don't like their style,
Right.
or shit happens, right?
Yeah.
So if we did an event, which is not being done out there, that is this pre-work model, so that the attendees that they're signing up, they get this, they actually get some things done ahead of time. So when they come to the event, they're ready.
I love that.
They're really ready.
I think that's great. I so many things
Be fun.
about that are really great and sound exactly right. And so I'm looking forward to talking to you more about this. And I just wanted to give people an like kind of bird's eye view inside of, you know, the work that we do when we're looking to create our events. And, you know, Linda, the cool thing about it is we just know that it's real. You know, we're not talking about hypothetical. We're going to like do these things. We're going to make it happen. So, and it's great because we have the time. And that's another piece of events, making sure that you're not like backed up where it's like you don't have time and space. So good thing for right now, at least we have the space.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. I think the other thing I want to talk about for people is really to inspire them about events in the sense of like why it's a must or why it's a really good idea. You know, obviously a must is up to you, but the truth is that I think if you're here to make a difference, I think if you're here to share your gift, you know, we can get caught up in the online stuff and we can get behind our computer and there's a lot of things we can do virtually and we can talk about virtual events or in person. But the main thing is just setting a date and actually committing to do it because in this day and age, the biggest problem is attention.
Yeah.
People are, you know, fractured. And so when they commit to an event, when they show up for an event, you get that attention. And that's the piece that's going to allow you to grow your business the quickest, right? Instead of just, you can work on your next funnel, you can work on anything you want. But a lot of those things you're looking at, you know, very low conversion rates. Like if you look at the online space, it's like 1%, you know, or something like that, where 100 people see your website or 100 people see your funnel and 1% of those people actually like opt in.
It's a numbers game.
But when you get to have a group of people in front of you, whether that is at a home, like our good friend John Block does, or if it is, you know, virtually, or if it's in a studio, or if it's in a hotel conference room, that energy of people's attention and being able to leverage that moment, I think it's what's missing for a lot of people who struggle and sit there going, I don't know how to get myself out there. I don't know how to get clients. It's like, none of these things are working. I don't want to post on social media every day. It's like, all I ever did in order to bust through all of that since the beginning of my career was set a date and figure it out. And like, we don't know what's going to happen. So I would love for you to share, like, what is the most inspiring things that you've seen? What are some of the events that you've been really happy that happened? What are some of the things that you really think, wow, what if this person had never taken this action? Like, whether it's retreats or stuff, like, tell us a little bit about what you've seen possible, what kind of money people have made, like, you know, inspire the people with like, what's possible if you actually put your foot down and do events.
Oh, wow. So many. I'm going to start with Shamika first.
Okay.
Because I met Shamika when I was in one of Adam Urbanski's early programs, and we were doing his events. And she came to me and she's like, I want to do an event. And we just started in a suite at a hotel. And I think the first one that she had was 4 people, maybe 6 people. And I believe she charged either $497 or $997. And it was, you know, we wanted more people, but that's what we had. She did a little 30-day jump start. It sort of kicked off her sales schools program that she had, that she just retired recently. And watching her evolution is the best evolution that I can share as an overall experience, because she took the step into having 6 people come to the first event. And it made her realize how she really loved to be with people in the training and teaching aspect, and that she had something to say and that she was on a mission. And then from there, it just grew. And then she partnered with another person, and they had like 100 people a few years later. And then COVID hit, and we did a virtual one. And she just had like this, I don't know, almost $1 million experience in the virtual space. And then she went on to have a couple, 1.2, $2 million experiences, went back in person. And then she, got on the Inc. 500, and her business just blew up. But all through it, when I look at it, like I said, I've been going back lately and looking at the successes and things. And all through it, what I see is her own evolution as a leader that has come out. And had she not taken that first step to do an event, I have no idea where she would be today. Would she just be only virtual? Where would she be? But for her as a leader and the evolution that she has had just shows how not only can you create a mission and create your own life and experience and be able to influence others, but the thousands of people that have come through her pipeline whose lives got changed just from her taking that first step to do an event, similar to like you taking that first step, to do what you did. So I would just really encourage people to not hold back from that, not be afraid.
Yeah.
And then the next person that I would like to talk about is Rich German, because Rich and Milana came together. They did JVX, which was teaching joint venture to this community of coaches, authors, and speakers. And they were together for about 5-6 years. We did events. And then they, as leaders, both realized that they had other things that they wanted to do. There was other paths for them, and they didn't want to keep continuing to bring in big community. So Rich ended up, his passion for the ocean and passion for, the animals and the whales and the dolphins. And so he has gone on to create his foundation, called the O. And, he paddleboards every morning in Laguna with the dolphins. He's doing these amazing excursion retreats now where you're going to Costa Rica and Panama and the Great Barrier Reef and different places, and taking groups of conscious entrepreneurs to have this really wild, amazing experience that you would never go on, and also do something for the ocean while you're there. And you get to swim, but you're also doing something in the ecosystem, clearing out the debris, or, working with an indigenous tribe or something like that. So it's just like really cool. So I think we get stuck in our head about I have to have a business and I have to do this and I have to have an event because people said I have to have an event. But if you really get into the framework of what are you here to do in this earth and time that you have, and who are you meant to impact, and turn that into your event and turn that into your mission, then it doesn't matter how many people you have in the room. You're going to make the change that you came to make, and people are going to work with you, and you'll make the money that you want to make.
Great. That was great. So many great things that you shared, and the examples were just awesome. Yeah, I love it. I'm really grateful that we've been able to work together for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the things that I wanted to share was when I first started in the business, was when I first started wanting to do events seriously. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have I didn't have a lot of clarity either, really, about what I wanted to do. But I would come to these events and I envisioned one day that I would do it, and it really stuck in my head. And then it got really like I wasn't following through on it because I was scared. And somebody said, don't do those events. Those events will they'll bankrupt you. And, there's all this fear in me that it was going to be this huge loss. And I didn't feel like I had enough to get going, but I had a conversation with you early on, I remember, and I felt intimidated because I knew you were working with a lot of people that I looked up to. And so it was one of those things where you really breathed life into me because you shared, when I said, there was somebody in the industry and I had mentioned his name, and you just reframed it and helped me see that, that was me too. And like that I could have those things too. And that person wasn't above me or below me. Just that's now possible for me. That was really helpful because I needed that nudge because I wanted to do something, but fear was really like this major thing. And I needed somebody who's going to be on the team to help that happen. And I had, voices in my head from my dad who was telling me that, these things are outside of my league and I shouldn't be doing these things. So it took a lot to finally put my foot down and specifically do a 3-day event, which is a big deal at a hotel. And it all started with a conversation of you telling me to believe in myself, basically. And so I really want to impart that to people here that, one of my mentors says, start where you are with what you have and what you can do. All I had at that point was a credit card. I didn't have cash in the bank to make it happen, but I had enough money on my credit card to, invest in support and invest in a location. And that was what moved me over the line. And I've done a lot of things in my career, but events have been the centerpiece of the things that have had the most impact in terms of revenue and in terms of experientially. It's made me feel more connected to my clients, and it's allowed me to step up and create a platform that people see me more as a leader than the person before I had done events. That's led to relationships with big people like Les Brown or other things where I'm positioned more as an authority in my space. So I just think that, first of all, thank you. Thank you for saying those words. That really never left me. That was the first person that said that I was like these people I looked up to, that it was possible. And so many years later, it all starts with those seeds of belief in self. So I want to thank you for that. And I just want to leave you with anything you want to share for people to inspire them. And then let us know how people can get connected to you. So it's all you.
Okay, great. Well, I would just say if you've wanted to do an event of any kind, retreat, virtual or whatnot, and you haven't done it, then do it. Pick the date, put it on the calendar, and start working toward it. And it can be as simple as, calling people just in your network and like, hey, I'm going to be talking about this on this day. Start with a 1-day workshop. And I'd love you to come. And here's what it is. And just do it that way and organically fill it. And if you get 10 people, 6 people, be there, serve them, and get testimonials from them and how great it was and what they took away. And then you're on your way. Because really events, virtual, in person, whenever we're bringing a collective body together is the fastest way to show that you have authority, that show that you know what you're talking about, build on that. And it gets you income. It does. I mean, maybe you don't make $1 million your first time out. Maybe you don't make $1 million ever because that's not what your purpose or intention is. But you will make a living and you will be able to have the things in life that you want, and you'll be able to make that impact. Because I think really and truly, each of us in our own way, we want to impact someone and something. Right. And so events really are the way to do it. So don't sit back and say you can't do it. Don't sit back and let that fear hold you back, because what you're doing is a disservice. Because like, I don't resonate with everyone. You don't resonate with everyone. But the people that we do, we are an impact to them. We are changing lives. Like that story that you just told me, I didn't know that I had that much of an influence on you. And it just warms my heart. And you don't know what the influence is that you have back on me. Just, because the way that our relationship has developed and things like that, it's just like, not only are you a client, but I really feel like you're a friend. And I know that if I needed something, I could call you and you would be there for me. And so it's those kind of relationships that get built out of the events. Yeah. And so those are priceless, that those opportunities are priceless. And then the other thing is, it doesn't have to be a big budget. It doesn't have to be a big production. It can just be from the heart and simple. And you're going to create what you need to create. And then keep at it. Don't be discouraged, because life isn't going to just be, oh, I'm doing events. This is great and wonderful. It's an ebb and flow. This business of being an entrepreneur is an ebb and flow. Whoever said it was a part-time job, it's not a part-time job. It's a full-time job. But it's full-time because you can create your own time frame, your own income, your own possibilities, and you can structure it the way you want to structure it. And we don't all have to do those big fancy funnels. We don't have to do all of that stuff. You'll find your path. If once you start doing it and step into it, you'll find the path that you need to take. And I have clients that are making millions, and I have clients that are, just in the early six figures, and they're doing well, and they really don't want to do anything else. I'll leave you with this story of Shayla, one of our clients who, she's pushing probably 700 million. She's over the 500,000 mark. She also has 6 kids. We've got the biggies and the littles. So she's got 3 that are older and she's got 3 that are younger, and there's some space in between them, right? But she takes 12 clients a year at $25K, and that's the main focus of her coaching program. And it's called Luxury Business. And what she does is she works with women who are kind of stuck at that 200, 250 mark. They want more, they're just stuck. So she takes them and really reworks them and shows them where the holes are in their business, and then catapults them onward. But in between, she has VIP days, she has one-day workshops, she has these things that she's doing virtual now that she used to do in person, but she can do them virtually now. So her reach is wider. So coupled in with all of that, she's able to do 1 event a year, 2 retreats as fulfillment, and then everything else is virtual. And she's able to have this lifestyle with her family and be there for her kids. And every December, they take off and go to Aruba for the month. And she loves it. And that's all she needs to do. And she doesn't need to be on this big, huge other trajectory. Milana Lashinsky, same thing. She does 1 event. The rest of the time, she's online and she's cultivating and growing, and she's got a card deck out now. She paints rocks. She has a coaching genie program that if you're a coach and you need to have an automated system to follow through your program so you're not always doing the accountability, she's got a fabulous program that does that. And that's what she does. And she makes a nice, cool, I don't know, whatever she's making, close to whatever. And she loves it.
Yeah.
And she's able to do it mostly from her home with limited travel and be there for her family and her kids. So that's what's so cool about this business is that, and events help you do this. Because you can be online forever and constantly creating content and flow and trying to put that new product out there. Or you can do events and cultivate people around you that are a community that you can tap into. And they'll give you the strength when you need it. And then they're also there for you to be in program and help you with profit.
I love it. So good. That's great vision, great inspiration. If you guys are liking this, make sure that you subscribe and you click the like button, share it with your friends and family. And just tell us, Linda, how can anybody here get more info on you? What are you up to? What can they do to get into your world?
The website is Events by Blue Diamond, and it's BLU, no E. So Events by Blue, BLU Diamond. And .com. And my email's my name, Linda Kane, office@gmail.com. Be in touch that way is the easiest, and love to have a connection and a call. And there'll be a link in this that is a free gift we have.
Great.
It's called Profitable Events, the Complete Guide, where I break down virtual, hybrid, 3-day enrollment and retreats.
Okay.
And there's some little worksheets in there for them to do.
Nice.
And just really break down the 4 those are kind of the 4 big events that we're doing. And it breaks it down so you can figure out which of the models you want to do, virtual in a retreat or 3-day in a retreat or just retreats. So,
nice.
Yeah, love it.
That's great. All right. So take advantage of that. And once again, thanks for joining us on the Rock Your Gift podcast. And I look forward to the next one. Thank you, Linda.
Thanks for having me.